My town's hero was fired for letting a homeless family sleep in the fire station. Captain Miller saved my brother from a burning building when I was 12 last week. The town council terminated him after 23 years of service because he let a homeless mother and her kids sleep in the station during a blizzard. Everyone in our small town knows Captain Miller. He's the guy who shows up at every school career day with the shiny red truck patiently answering the same questions year after year. The one who remembers every kid's name and still asks about my brother's burn scars whenever we run into him at the grocery store. The fire that nearly killed my brother destroyed half our house. While we stood shivering on the lawn at 3 a.m., Captain Miller wrapped his own coat around my shoulders and promised everything would be okay. He wasn't just doing his job, he meant it. When our insurance company tried claiming the fire was caused by faulty wiring we didn't. Captain Miller spent his day off reviewing the evidence and writing a detailed report proving it started in the electrical panel. The insurance company paid in full 2 weeks later. That's why I couldn't believe what I was reading on our town's Facebook page. Fire captain terminated for protocol violation. The comments section was exploding with angry residents demanding answers. I called my mom, who works at town hall. Is it true? I asked. Worse than they're saying, she whispered. The council voted 4-3 to fire him with no pension after 23 years. The full story came out slowly. During last month's 3-day blizzard, a woman and her 2 young kids had been sleeping in their car at the parking lot. When Captain Miller found them during his grocery run, the temperature was dropping below zero. All the shelters were full. The woman had lost her apartment after getting laid off, and her relatives lived 2 states away. Captain Miller brought them to the empty fire station, set them up in the break room with cots, and kept it quiet. They stayed 3 nights until the roads cleared. Nobody would have known except one of the council members stopped by unexpectedly and found them there. He violated safety protocols and liability regulations, the council president said in an official statement. We cannot make exceptions regardless of intentions. But our town disagreed. By that evening, a crowd had gathered outside the station. The next morning, local businesses put up signs saying, "We stand with Captain Miller." The high school canceled classes when half the students walked out in protest. I started a GoFundMe for him that raised $30,000 in the first day. Then something unexpected happened. The woman he had helped showed up at the protest. She was now staying with her sister in the next town over and had just started a new job. She stood trembling on the steps of town hall, clutching a microphone. "My children would have died that night," she said, her voice breaking. The car heater was already failing. When everyone else just walked past us, Captain Miller saw us as people, not problems. The crowd grew silent when Captain Miller himself appeared, still wearing his civilian clothes rather than his uniform. He looked smaller somehow, but I'd make the same choice again tomorrow. The council called an emergency meeting that night. While they deliberated, hundreds of people waited outside in the cold, sharing stories about how Captain Miller had helped them over the years, the car accidents he'd responded to, the cats he'd rescued from trees, the fectu classes he'd taught for free on weekends. At midnight, the council president emerged looking exhausted. After reconsideration, the council has voted to reinstate Captain Miller, effective immediately. The crowd erupted, but Captain Miller raised his hand for quiet. "I appreciate that," he said, "but I'll only come back on one condition." The council president hesitated. "What condition?" "That the station's break room is designated as an emergency shelter during extreme weather events, with proper protocols and training, of course." 3 days later, I drove past the fire station and noticed a new sign by the side entrance. Emergency Warming Center, par ensuring severe weather acts, and beneath it in smaller letters,